While most preppers are stockpiling obvious survival gear that screams, "I'm preparing for disaster," there's a smarter way to build food security that keeps you completely invisible. What if I told you that 6 ordinary grocery store items could keep you fed through any crisis, while looking like you're just shopping for dinner? In the next 10 minutes, you'll discover the Gray Man food strategy, a method used by intelligence professionals to build massive food reserves without anyone noticing. I'll reveal the 6 specific foods that offer maximum nutrition, shelf life, and stealth value, plus the market trends that make them even more valuable right now. By the end, you'll know exactly how to build a disaster-proof pantry that looks completely normal. Welcome to Financial Area, where we explore smart strategies for protecting your wealth and security. If you're ready to learn how the pros stay prepared without drawing attention, hit that like button and subscribe for more under-the-radar financial and survival strategies. Here's the uncomfortable truth about traditional prepping. It makes you a target. When you're wheeling cases of MREs through the checkout line or hauling 50-pound bags of rice to your car, you're broadcasting your preparedness level to everyone around you. Neighbors notice. Store employees remember. And in a real crisis, guess whose house desperate people will remember seeing all that survival gear going into? The Gray Man approach flips this entire concept on its head. Instead of standing out, you blend in. Instead of obvious survival foods, you choose items that look like regular grocery shopping. The goal isn't to impress other preppers with your tactical gear, it's to quietly build real resilience without ever tipping your hand. This strategy comes from intelligence and military communities where survival depends on not looking prepared. These professionals understand that the best defense is often invisibility. When it comes to food security, this means choosing items that don't raise eyebrows at the checkout counter, don't scream prepper, and don't attract unwanted scrutiny from anyone, including government agencies who might be monitoring bulk purchases during emergencies. But here's what makes this approach brilliant. You're not sacrificing quality for stealth. The foods we're about to discuss are genuinely superior survival assets. They're shelf-stable, meaning no refrigeration required. They're versatile, so you can create multiple meals from each item. And they're easy to rotate, ensuring you're always eating fresh food while maintaining your reserves. This isn't about hoarding, it's about intelligent integration of preparedness into normal life. The foundation of any Gray Man food strategy rests on 3 pillars. First, shelf stability. These foods last months or years without refrigeration. Second, versatility. Each item can be used in multiple ways to create different meals. Third, invisibility. They look like normal grocery purchases that any family might make for regular meals. Let's start with the most powerful stealth food you can store: dry pasta. Walk into any grocery store and grab a few boxes of penne, spaghetti, or elbow macaroni, and absolutely no one will think twice. It looks exactly like you're stocking up for family dinners or meal prep for the week. There's nothing suspicious, nothing tactical, nothing that suggests emergency preparation. But beneath this ordinary appearance lies incredible strategic value. Dry pasta is ridiculously affordable compared to its caloric density. A single box can stretch into multiple filling meals, and when stored properly in a dry environment, it lasts for years without degrading. It cooks quickly with just boiling water, making it practical even when fuel is limited. And here's the kicker. As inflation hits food prices harder, more regular shoppers are returning to pasta basics, making your purchases even more invisible in current market conditions. Recent market data shows pasta demand surging not because it's trendy, but because it's practical. Producers are responding with expanded options like whole grain and protein-enriched varieties, but the beauty of the Gray Man approach is sticking with the basics. Regular semolina pasta does exactly what you need, provides calories, carbs for eats, energy, and a familiar base that can be mixed with almost anything else in your pantry. The strategic advantages are compelling. You get shelf stability that lasts years, versatility to mix with canned vegetables, tuna, or even just olive oil and salt, complete stealth that looks like routine shopping, and space efficiency since pasta boxes stack easily and rotate through your regular cooking. By quietly adding a few extra boxes to your regular shopping routine, you build a reserve that's invisible to everyone, but invaluable when supply chains wobble or prices spike. Now let's talk about honey, one of the most powerful foods a Gray Man can hold in reserve. Honey is having a moment in wellness circles, which actually makes it perfect for stealth storage. You can buy multiple jars without looking like a prepper because everyone knows honey is good for you, natural, and useful for everything from tea to home remedies. But honey's real power comes from its chemistry. Low moisture content, high acidity, and natural enzymes make it nearly immortal. Archaeologists have found honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that's still perfectly edible after thousands of years. This isn't just survival food, It's survival food that literally never expires when stored properly. The global honey market is climbing significantly, but here's where it gets interesting from a gray man perspective. Catastrophic losses among U.S. beekeepers, we're talking up to 70% of commercial colonies lost in early 2025, are putting massive pressure on supply chains. Import restrictions and anti-dumping duties are reshaping global honey trade, especially from major producers like India, Argentina, and Vietnam. This supply chain chaos makes every jar more valuable, but since honey looks like a normal pantry staple, you can accumulate it without anyone noticing you're building a strategic reserve. Honey delivers on all three gray man pillars perfectly. It stores indefinitely at room temperature with no special handling. It works as a sweetener, has legitimate medicinal uses for wound care and sore throats, and provides quick energy when you need it most. And it looks like nothing more than a breakfast staple, not a survival asset. You can rotate through honey as part of your regular cooking and baking, quietly building what amounts to liquid gold that's ready for anything. Here's a food making a quiet comeback that most people are overlooking: canned fruit. While fresh produce prices soar with inflation and supply chain disruptions, canned fruit remains stable, affordable, and completely under the radar. The global canned fruit market is actually climbing as people rediscover its convenience and shelf stability, but legacy brands are struggling against fresh alternatives, which makes canned fruit even more invisible as a strategic choice. Think about the psychology here. When you grab cans of peaches, pears, or mixed fruit, it looks like you're buying dessert or snacks for kids. Nobody associates canned fruit with emergency preparedness, but nutritionally and strategically, it's brilliant. Canned fruit provides hydration, essential vitamins, fiber, and psychological comfort when fresh produce becomes scarce or expensive. The fruit packed in juice also provides quick energy from natural sugars. Modern canning technology has improved dramatically. Better can reliability, BPA-free options, and improved packaging mean these products last longer and taste better than previous generations. You're getting legitimate nutritional value that counts toward daily fruit intake recommendations, especially varieties packed in juice rather than heavy syrup. The stealth factor is perfect. Small regular purchases of different varieties don't attract attention. It looks like normal grocery shopping for family meals or lunch boxes. But over time, you're building a reserve of shelf-stable nutrition that requires zero refrigeration and provides both physical sustenance and psychological comfort when times get uncertain. Moving into more modern territory, shelf-stable plant milks are emerging as serious strategic assets that fit perfectly into gray man philosophy. While overall plant milk sales show some decline, shelf-stable segments are quietly growing, especially varieties like almond, coconut, and oat milk that don't require refrigeration until opened. The market trends here are fascinating. Plant milk consumption is projected to soar globally, with shelf-stable variants capturing notable market share. Brands are launching clean ingredient versions, targeting health-conscious shoppers, which means your purchases blend seamlessly with current consumer behavior. In the UK, oat milk is surging in popularity, while US markets favor almond and oat products in shelf-stable formats. From a gray man perspective, this is perfect timing. Buying shelf-stable plant milk looks like you're following health trends, accommodating dietary restrictions, or just buying convenient non-refrigerated options. There's nothing suspicious about having multiple cartons in your pantry. It looks like normal modern nutrition choices. But strategically, these products deliver serious value. No refrigeration required makes them ideal for power outages or situations with unreliable electricity. They provide hydration, plant proteins, added calcium and vitamins, and familiar taste that offers psychological comfort. A few cartons tucked into your pantry blend seamlessly into everyday life, but when shortages hit dairy supplies or refrigeration becomes unreliable, your silent backup is ready. Here's one that might surprise you. Cooking oil is quietly becoming one of the most strategic essentials you can store without attracting any attention. The global cooking oil market is projected to expand dramatically, driven by demand for both food use and biofuel production. This dual demand is creating price volatility that makes oil reserves increasingly valuable. Current market dynamics are wild. Prices for staple oils like palm, soy, sunflower, and rapeseed are surging due to climate impacts, reduced harvests, and policy shifts. Indonesia's biodiesel mandates are routing palm oil into fuel production, shrinking food supply availability. Trade volatility has become the new normal, with major importers like China and India adjusting purchases based on price fluctuations. But here's the beauty of oil as a gray man asset. It looks completely normal to buy. Whether you grab olive oil, avocado oil, or basic vegetable oil, You're just someone cooking at home. Even buying multiple bottles looks like bulk shopping or taking advantage of sales. There's absolutely nothing that suggests emergency preparation. Strategically, cooking oil is incredibly powerful. It provides essential fats your body needs for hormone production and nutrient absorption. It transforms bland staples like pasta, rice, or cornmeal into actually edible meals by adding flavor and richness. Shelf life is excellent when stored properly, and different oil types serve different purposes. Olive oil for flavor, coconut oil for higher temperature cooking, basic vegetable oils for general use. The stealth factor is unbeatable. Multiple bottles in your pantry look like someone who enjoys cooking or shops bulk for savings. But those bottles represent calorie-dense emergency nutrition that can make the difference between bland survival and actually sustainable eating when other foods become scarce or expensive. Finally, let's talk about the ultimate stealth food, cornmeal. This might be the most overlooked strategic asset in any grocery store. Cornmeal sits quietly on shelves, never flashy or trendy, but perfectly suited for building reliable food reserves. As global grain shortages make headlines and prices rise, cornmeal is making its way back into homes, not because it's fashionable, but because it works. Countries heavily dependent on corn are securing strategic reserves, and producers are updating operations for better efficiency and extended shelf life. New packaging is more airtight and moisture-resistant, extending product life without preservatives. You can find specialty varieties like blue cornmeal or organic options, but the gray man focuses on basics. Regular yellow cornmeal that costs almost nothing and lasts for months. The strategic advantages are impressive. Cornmeal is lightweight, compact, and stores easily in dry conditions. It's incredibly versatile. You can make porridge, fry it into patties, bake cornbread, or use it as breading for protein. It cooks quickly with minimal fuel, mixing easily with just water and salt to create filling, nutritious meals. Different cultures have developed dozens of ways to prepare cornmeal, so you have options regardless of your background or preferences. But the stealth factor is what makes cornmeal perfect for gray man strategy. When you buy cornmeal, it looks like you're planning to make cornbread for Sunday dinner, or trying some new recipe you saw online. Nobody associates cornmeal with emergency preparedness or survival planning. It's just a basic baking ingredient that sits quietly in your pantry until you need it. Now that you understand these 6 power foods, let's talk implementation. The key to gray man food strategy is rotation and integration. You're not hoarding bulk quantities that expire or look suspicious. Instead, you're quietly accumulating extras as part of regular shopping, then rotating through your stock by actually using these foods in everyday meals. Start small and build gradually. Add 1 extra box of pasta to your weekly shopping. Grab an additional jar of honey when you're buying groceries. Pick up canned fruit as snacks. Buy shelf-stable plant milk for convenience. Stock up on cooking oil when there's a sale. Add cornmeal to try a new recipe. These purchases look completely ordinary, but over time, they build reserves that could sustain you for weeks or months. The psychology matters as much as the calories. When uncertainty hits, whether it's supply chain disruptions, price inflation, power outages, or larger emergencies, having familiar foods available maintains normalcy and morale. You're not choking down MREs or survival bars. You're eating pasta with olive oil, honey in your tea, fruit for dessert, and cornbread for comfort. These familiar tastes provide psychological stability when everything else feels chaotic. Stay informed about market trends and adjust accordingly. When you notice honey shortages or oil price spikes, quietly increase your rotation schedule. The gray man is always ahead of the curve, but never obviously so. You're building resilience through intelligence and planning, not through flashy gear or obvious stockpiling. If this approach to intelligent preparedness resonates with you, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Financial Area for more under-the-radar strategies for protecting your security and wealth. What other gray man strategies would you like us to explore? Let us know in the comments below.